Welcome to our video on the incredible life and career of Tom Hanks, one of Hollywood's most beloved and versatile actors. From his humble beginnings to becoming a two-time Academy Award winner, Tom Hanks has captured hearts worldwide with his unforgettable performances in films like Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Saving Private Ryan. Join us as we dive into the inspiring journey of this cinematic legend, exploring his personal story, career milestones, and the impact he's made on the film industry and beyond. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating biographies. Thomas Jeffrey Hanks, born July 9, 1956, is an American actor and filmmaker. Known for both his comedic and dramatic roles, he is one of the most popular and recognizable film stars worldwide and is regarded as an American cultural icon. Hanks is ranked as the fifth highest-grossing American film actor. Over his career, he has received numerous awards, including 2 Academy Awards, 7 Emmy Awards, and 4 Golden Globe Awards, as well as nominations for 5 BAFTA Awards and a Tony Award. He has been honored with the AFI Life Achievement Award in 2002, the Kennedy Center Honor in 2014, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016, and the Golden Globe Cecil DeMille Award in 2020. Hanks made his breakthrough with leading roles in a series of comedies: Splash, 1984, The Money Pit, 1986, Big, 1988, and A League of Their Own, 1992. He won 2 consecutive Academy Awards for Best Actor, playing a gay lawyer suffering from AIDS in Philadelphia, 1993, and the title character in Forrest Gump, 1994, 8. Hanks collaborated with Steven Spielberg on 5 films: Saving Private Ryan, 1998, Catch Me If You Can, 2002, The Terminal, 2004, Bridge of Spies, 2015, and The Post, 2017, as well as the World War II miniseries Band of Brothers, 2001, The Pacific, 2010, and Masters of the Air, 2024. He has also frequently collaborated with directors Ron Howard, Nora Ephron, and Robert Zemeckis. Hanks has starred in numerous films, cementing his filmed acting in the romantic comedies Sleepless in Seattle, 1993, and You've Got Mail, 1998, the dramas Apollo 13, 1995, The Green Mile, 1999, Castaway, 2000, Road to Perdition, 2002, and Cloud Atlas, 2012, and the biographical dramas Charlie Wilson's War, 2007, Captain Phillips, 2013, Saving Mr. Banks, 2013, Sully, 2016, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, 2019, News of the World, 2020, and Elvis, 2022. He appeared as the title character in the Robert Langdon series and voiced Sheriff Woody in the Toy Story films, 1995 to 2019. Hanks directed and acted in the comedies The Thing You Do, 1996, and Larry Crowne, 2011. On television, he had his acting breakthrough starring in the ABC sitcom Bosom Buddies, 1980 to 1982. He has hosted Saturday Night Live a total of 10 and launched his production company, Playtone, where he has produced various limited series and television movies, including From the Earth to the Moon, 1998, Band of Brothers, 2001, John Adams, 2008, The Pacific, 2009, Game Change, 2012, and Olive Kitteridge, 2015. He made his Broadway debut in Nora Ephron's Lucky Guy, 2013, earning a Tony Award for Best Actor in a Play nomination. Early life and family: Hanks was born in Concord, California, on July 9, 1956, to hospital worker Janet Marilyn Nee Frager and itinerant cook Amos Bud Hanks. His mother was from a Portuguese family. Their surname was originally Fraga. His father had English ancestry, and through his line, Hanks is a distant cousin of President Abraham Lincoln and children's host Fred Rogers, who many years later he would portray in a film role. His parents divorced in 1960. Their 3 oldest children, Sandra Hanks Benoit, a writer, Larry, who became an entomology professor at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and Tom went with their father, while the youngest, Jim, who also became an actor and filmmaker, remained with their mother in Red Bluff, California. In his childhood, Hanks' family moved often. By age 10, he had lived in 10 different houses. Although Hanks' family religious history was Catholic and Mormon, he converted to Greek Orthodox Christianity as an adult after his marriage to Rita Wilson. One journalist characterized Hanks' teenage self as being a Bible-toting evangelical for several years. In school, he was unpopular with students and teachers alike, later telling Rolling Stone magazine I was a geek, a spaz. I was horribly, painfully, terribly shy. At the same time, I was the guy who'd yell out funny captions during film strips. But I didn't get into trouble. I was always a real good kid and pretty responsible. Hanks acted in school plays, including South Pacific, while attending Skyline High School in Oakland, California. Having grown up in the Bay Area, Hanks says that some of his first movie memories were seeing movies in the Alameda Theater. Hanks studied theater at Shabbat College in Hayward, California, and transferred to California State University, Sacramento after 2 years. During a 2001 interview with sportscaster Bob Costas, Hanks was asked whether he would rather have an Oscar or a Heisman Trophy. He replied that he would rather win a Heisman by playing halfback for the California Golden Bears. He told New York Magazine in 1986, acting classes looked like the best place for a guy who liked to make a lot of noise and be rather flamboyant. I spent a lot of time going to plays. I wouldn't take dates with me, I'd just drive to a theater, buy myself a ticket, sit in the seat and read the program, and then get into the play completely. I spent a lot of time like that seeing Brecht, Tennessee Williams, Ibsen, and all that. During his years studying theater, Hanks met Vincent Dowling, head of the Great Lakes Theater Festival in Cleveland, Ohio. At Dowling's suggestion, Hanks became an intern at the festival. His internship stretched into a 3-year experience that covered most aspects of theater production, including lighting, set design, and stage management, prompting Hanks to drop out of college. During the same time, Hanks won the Cleveland Critics Circle Award for Best Actor for his 1978 performance as Proteus in Shakespeare's The Two Gentlemen of Verona, one of the few times he played a villain. In 2010, Time magazine named Hanks one of the top 10 college dropouts. Career 1980 to 1989, early work, sitcom and comedy films. In 1979, Hanks moved to New York City, where he made his film debut budget in the low-budget slasher film He Knows You're Alone, 1980, and landed a starring role in the television movie Mazes and Monsters, 1982. Early that year, he was cast as the lead Calamaco in the Riverside Shakespeare Company's production of Niccolo Machiavelli's The Mandrake, directed by Daniel Southern. The following year, Hanks landed one of the lead roles, that of character Kip Wilson, on the ABC television pilot of Bosom Buddies. He and Peter Scolari played a pair of young advertising men forced to dress as women so they could live in an inexpensive all-female hotel. Hanks had previously partnered with Scolari on the 1970s game show Make Me Laugh. After landing the role, Hanks moved to Los Angeles. Bosom Buddies ran for 2 seasons, and although ratings were never strong, television critics gave the program high marks. The first day I saw him on the set, co-producer Ian Praiser told Rolling Stone, I thought, too bad he won't be in television for long. I knew he'd be a movie star in 2 years. Hanks made a guest appearance on a 1982 episode of Happy Days, A Case of Revenge, in which he played a disgruntled former classmate of Fonzie, where he met writers Lowell Gans and Babaloo Mandel, who were writing the film Splash. 1984, a romantic comedy fantasy about a mermaid who falls in love with a human, to be directed by former Happy Days star Ron Howard. Gans and Mandel suggested Howard consider Hanks for the film. At first, Howard considered Hanks for the role of the main character's wisecracking brother, a role that eventually went to John Candy. Instead, Hanks landed the lead role in Splash, which went on to become a surprise box office hit, grossing more than US $69 million. He had a sizable hit with the sex comedy Bachelor Party, also in 1984. In 1983-84, Hanks made 3 guest appearances on Family Ties as Elise Keaton's alcoholic brother, Ned Donnelly. With Nothing in Common, 1986, a story of a young man alienated from his father, Jackie Gleason, Hanks began to extend himself from comedic roles to dramatic. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Hanks commented on his experience, "It changed my desires about working in movies. Part of it was the nature of the material, what we were trying to say. But besides that, it focused on people's relationships. The story was about a guy and his father, unlike, say, The Money Pit, where the story is really about a guy and his house." In 1987, he had signed an agreement with the Walt Disney Studios, where he had starred to a talent pool in an acting-producing pact. After a few more flops and a moderate success with the comedy dragnet 1987, Hanks' stature in the film industry rose. The broad success of the fantasy comedy Big, 1988, established Hanks as a major Hollywood talent, both as a box office draw and within the industry as an actor. For his performance in the film, Hanks earned his first nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actor. Big was followed later that year by Punchline, in which he and Sally Field co-starred as struggling comedians. Hanks then suffered a run of box office underperformers: The Burbs 1989, Joe vs. the Volcano 1990, and The Bonfire of the Vanities 1990. In the last, he portrayed a greedy Wall Street figure who gets enmeshed in a hit-and-run accident. Turner Hooksh 1989 was Hanks' only financially successful film of the period. 1990 to 1999, leading man in acclaim, Hanks climbed back to the top again with his portrayal of a washed-up baseball legend turned manager in Penny Marshall's A League of Their Own, 1992. Hanks has said that his acting in earlier roles had not great, but that he later improved. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Hanks called attention to what he called his modern era of movie making. Because enough self-discovery has gone on, my work has become less pretentiously fake and over the top. This modern era began in 1993 for Hanks, first with Nora Ephron's Sleepless in Seattle, and then with Jonathan Demme's Philadelphia. Sleepless in Seattle is a romantic comedy about a widower who finds true love over the radio airwaves. Hanks co-starred with Meg Ryan. Richard Schickel of Time called his performance charming, and most critics agreed that Hanks' portrayal ensured him a place among the premier romantic comedy stars of his generation. In Philadelphia, he played a gay lawyer with AIDS who sues his firm for discrimination. Hanks lost 35 pounds, 16 kg, and thinned his hair in order to appear sickly for the role. In a review for People, Leah Rosen stated, "Above all, credit for Philadelphia's success belongs to Hanks, who makes sure that he plays a character, not a saint. He is flat out terrific, giving a deeply felt, carefully nuanced performance that deserves an Oscar." Hanks won the 1993 Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Philadelphia. During his acceptance speech, he revealed that two people with whom he was close, his high school drama teacher Raleigh Farnsworth and his former classmate John Gilkerson, were gay. Hanks on the film set of Forrest Gump, 1994. Hanks followed Philadelphia with Robert Zemeckis' Forrest Gump, 1994, playing the title character. A man with an IQ of 75 who happens to find himself involved with some of the major events in recent American history. It grossed a worldwide total of over $600 million. Hanks remarked, "When I read the script for Gump, I saw it as one of those kind of grand, hopeful movies that the audience can go to and feel some hope for their lot and their position in life. I got that from the movies 100 million times when I was a kid. I still do." Hanks won his second Best Actor Academy Award for his role in Forrest Gump, becoming only the second actor to have accomplished the feat of winning consecutive Best Actor Oscars. Spencer Tracy was the first, winning in 1937 and 38 for Captains Courageous and Boys Town. Hanks and Tracy were the same age at the time they received their Academy Awards, 37 years old when they won their first and 38 when they won their second. Hanks reunited with Ron Howard to play astronaut and Commander Jim Lovell in Apollo 13, 1995. Critics generally applauded the film and the performances of the entire cast, which included Kevin Bacon, Bill Paxton, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, and Kathleen Quinlan. The movie earned 9 Academy Award nominations, winning 2. Hanks also starred in Pixar's Toy Story, 1995, as the voice of Sheriff Woody. Hanks made his directing debut with That Thing You Do, 1996, about a 1960s pop group. He also played the role of a music producer in the film 66-67. Hanks and producer Gary Goetzman went on to create Playtone, a record and film production company named after the record company in the film. Hanks then executive produced, co-wrote, and co-directed the HBO docudrama From the Earth to the Moon, 1998. The 12-part series chronicled the space program from its inception, through the familiar flights of Neil Armstrong and Jim Lovell, to the personal feelings surrounding the reality of moon landings. The Emmy Award-winning project was, at $68 million, equivalent to $127 million in 2023, one of the most expensive ventures undertaken for television. His next project was no less expensive. For Saving Private Ryan, 1998, he worked with Steven Spielberg to make a film about a search through war-torn France after D-Day to bring home a soldier. It earned the praise and respect of the film community, critics, and the general public. Hailed as one of the finest war films ever made, it earned Spielberg his second Academy Award for direction and Hanks another Best Actor nomination. Later that year, Hanks reteamed with Efron and Ryan for You've Got Mail, a remake of Ernst Lubitsch's The Shop Around the Corner, 1940. He starred in Frank Darabont's The Green Mile, 1999, based on the novel of the same name by Stephen King. He reprised the role of Woody in Toy Story 2, 1999. 2000 to 2009, established star and expansion. Hanks reunited with Zemeckis for Castaway, 2000, playing a marooned FedEx systems analyst. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote, "Hanks proves here again what an effective actor he is, never straining for an effect, always persuasive even in this unlikely situation, winning our sympathy with his eyes and his body language when there's no one else on the screen." Hanks co-directed and produced the Emmy Award-winning HBO miniseries Band of Brothers, 2001. He also appeared in the September 11th television special America, a tribute to heroes in the documentary Rescued from the Closet. In 2002, he teamed up with Sam Mendes for Road to Perdition, an adaptation of Max Allan Collins's and Richard Pierce Rainer's comics, in which he played an anti-hero role as a hitman on the run with his son. Hanks reunited with Spielberg, starring opposite Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can, 2002, based on the true story of Conan Franca Bagnale. Jr. Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, produced My Big Fat Greek Wedding, 2002. In August 2007, Hanks, along with co-producers Wilson and Gary Goetzman and writer and star Nia Vardalos, initiated a legal action against the production company Gold Circle Films for their share of profits from the movie. At the age of 45, Hanks became the youngest ever recipient of the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award on June 12, 2002. Hanks at Post-Emmys Party, September 2008. In 2004, he appeared in 3 films: the Coen brothers' The Lady Killers, Spielberg's The Terminal, and Zemeckis' The Polar Express, a family film for which Hanks played multiple motion capture roles. In a USA Weekend interview, Hanks discussed how he chooses projects. Since A League of Their Own, it can't be just another movie for me. It has to get me going somehow. There has to be some all-encompassing desire or feeling about wanting to do that particular movie. I'd like to assume that I'm willing to go down any avenue in order to do it right. In August 2005, Hanks was voted in as vice president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Hanks next starred in The Da Vinci Code, 2006, which grossed over US $750 million worldwide. In 2006, Hanks topped a 1,500-strong list of most trusted celebrities compiled by Forbes magazine. 88, he produced the animated children's movie, The Ant, Bully, and Starter for 10, a comedy about working-class students attempting to win on University Challenge. Hanks did voice work for Ken Burns' documentary The War, 2007, reading excerpts from World War II-era columns by Al McIntosh. Hanks voiced himself in The Simpsons movie 2007, in which he appeared in an announcement claiming that the US government has lost its credibility and is hence buying some of his. He also made an appearance in the credits, expressing a desire to be left alone when he is out in public. He starred in Mike Nichols's Charlie Wilson's War, 2007, as Democratic Texas Congressman Charles Wilson. In the comedy-drama film The Great Buck Howard, 2008, Hanks played the on-screen father of a young man, played by Hanks' real-life son Colin, who chooses to work as road manager for a fading mentalist, John Malkovich. His character was less than thrilled about his son's career decision. 90 in the same year, he executive produced the musical comedy Mamma Mia and the miniseries John Adams. Hanks' next endeavor was Angels Demons, 2009. Its April 11, 2007 announcement revealed that Hanks would reprise his role as Robert Langdon, and that he would reportedly receive the highest salary ever for an actor. The following day, he made his 10th appearance on NBC's Saturday Night Live, impersonating himself for the Celebrity Jeopardy sketch. Hanks produced Spike Jonze's Where the Wild Things Are, 2009, based on the children's book by Maurice Sendak. 2010 to 2019, Broadway debut and other roles. Hanks reprised his role of Woody in Toy Story 3, 2010, after Tim Allen and John Ratzenberger were invited to a movie theater to see a complete story reel of the movie. The film went on to become the highest-grossing animated film at the time. He executive produced the miniseries The Pacific 2010 100. In 2011, he directed and starred opposite Julia Roberts in the title role in the romantic comedy Larry Crowne. The movie received poor reviews, with only 35% of the 175 Rotten Tomatoes reviews giving it high ratings. Also in 2011, he starred in the drama Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. In 2012, he voiced the character Cleveland Carr for a web series he created, Electric City. He played multiple parts in Cloud Atlas 2012, based on the novel of the same name by David Mitchell, and was executive producer of the miniseries Game Change. In 2013, Hanks starred in two critically acclaimed films, Paul Greengrass's Captain Phillips and John Lee Hancock's Saving Mr. Banks, which earned him praise, including nominations for the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role and the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Drama for the former role. In Captain Phillips, he starred as Captain Richard Phillips with Barkat Abdi, which was best on the Marsk, Alabama hijacking. In Saving Mr. Banks, co-starring Emma Thompson, he was the first actor to portray Walt Disney in a mainstream film. That same year, Hanks made his Broadway debut, starring in Nora Ephron's Lucky Guy, for which he was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Play. In 2014, Hanks' short story Alan Bean Plus 4 was published in The New Yorker. Revolving around four friends who make a voyage to the moon, the short story is titled after the Apollo 12 astronaut Alan Bean. Slate magazine's Katie Waldman found his first published short story mediocre, writing that Hanks' shopworn ideas about technology might have yet sung if they hadn't been wrapped in too clever lit maggies. In an interview with The New Yorker, Hanks said he has always been fascinated by space. He told the magazine that he built plastic models of rockets when he was a child and watched live broadcasts of space missions back in the 1960s. In March 2015, Hanks appeared in the music video for Carly Rae Jepsen's I Really Like You, lip-syncing most of the song's lyrics as he goes through his daily routine. His next film was Steven Spielberg's Bridge of Spies, 2015, in which he played lawyer James B. Donovan, who negotiated for the release of pilot Francis Gary Powers by the Soviet Union in exchange for KGB spy Rudolf Abel. In April 2016, Hanks starred as Alan Clay in the comedy drama A Hologram for the King, an adaptation of the 2012 novel of the same name. It is the second time he was directed by Tom Tykwer after Cloud Atlas. Hanks starred as airline captain Chesley Sullenberger in Clint Eastwood's Sully 2016. He next reprised his role as Robert Langdon in Inferno 2016 and co-starred alongside Emma Watson in the 2017 science fiction drama The Circle. He voiced David S. Pumpkins in the David S. Pumpkins Halloween Special, which aired October 28, 2017 on NBC, a character he had portrayed in episodes of Saturday Night Live. Hanks reprised his role as Sheriff Woody in Pixar's Toy Story 4, 2019. Hanks portrayed Fred Rogers in Marielle Heller's biographical film A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood 2019, for which he was nominated for his first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. 2020 present. On April 11th, 2020, Hanks made his first television appearance since his COVID-19 diagnosis by hosting Saturday Night Live. Hanks delivered an opening monologue via his house, but did not appear in any of the sketches. This is the first episode of SNL to debut after the show's hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It features different sketches filmed remotely from the cast members' homes. This is also a first in SNL history, for the show to be made up entirely recorded content before airing, and the second to not be filmed at Studio 88. Hanks had two films released in 2020. Hanks starred in Greyhound, a war film which he also wrote the screenplay for. Initially set to be theatrically released in June 2020 by Sony Pictures, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, distribution rights to the film were bought by Apple TV, where it was released in July 2020. He reunited with Paul Greengrass for the Western News of the World. David Rooney of The Hollywood Reporter praised Hanks' performance. Hanks has built a career out of playing thoroughly decent men, so his casting here is entirely to type. But the soulfulness and sorrow, the innate compassion that ripple through his characterization make this an enormously pleasurable performance to watch, with new depths of both kindness and regret that keep revealing themselves. In 2021, Hanks starred in the science fiction drama Finch, directed by Miguel Sapochnik and released by Apple TV. On March 2, 2022, Connor Ratliff appeared as a guest on Late Night with Seth Meyers, where he revealed that Hanks would at last be interviewed for the Season 3 finale of Ratliff's podcast Dead Eyes. The conversation between Hanks and Ratliff took place 22 years after Ratliff was about to begin filming an episode of Band of Brothers, when he was subsequently fired, allegedly because Hanks believed Ratliff had dead eyes. The 90-minute interview was hailed as a momentous achievement in podcasting, a rare show that gives you a perfect conclusion, surprisingly funny and empathetic, and an event Paul Scheer called thrilling. Hanks had 3 films released in 2022. He first starred as Tom Parker, the manager of Elvis Presley, in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. Shooting commenced in the beginning of 2020 in Queensland, Australia, and the film was released in June 2022. Hanks' next film was portraying Geppetto in Walt Disney Studios' live-action adaptation of Pinocchio. His involvement in the film, which was directed by his longtime collaborator Zemeckis, was officially confirmed in December 2020 and released on September 8, 2022 by Disney. Hanks' final film of the year was A Man Called Otto, an English-language remake of the Swedish film A Man Called Ove. In 2023, Hanks appeared in Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, starring alongside Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Adrien Brody, Jeffrey Wright, and Bryan Cranston. The film premiered at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival to mixed reviews and was released in June 2023. HBO confirmed in January 2013 that it was developing a third World War II miniseries based on the book Masters of the Air by Donald L. Miller, with Hanks and Spielberg to follow Band of Brothers in the Pacific. Name reported in March 2017 that production was progressing under the working title The Mighty Eighth. On October 11, 2019, it was announced that the series would keep the title from the book and that the miniseries would stream on Apple TV due to budget constraints at HBO. Masters of the Air was expected to cost $200 million with a duration of at least 8 hours. The series premiered on January 26, 2024. Hanks is also appearing in The Garden of Beasts, an adaptation of the 2011 non-fiction book from director Joe Wright about American diplomat William Dodd. In February 2022, it was announced that Hanks will star in the feature adaptation of Here, a graphic novel by Richard McGuire, directed by Robert Zemeckis. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the remarkable life of Tom Hanks, a true icon of Hollywood. From his unforgettable roles to his genuine warmth and humility, Tom Hanks continues to inspire millions around the world. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow movie lovers, and subscribe to our channel for more stories about extraordinary lives. Let us know in the comments which Tom Hanks movie is your favorite, and we'll see you in the next video.